Yeah, in January.
Yeah, just released their first one?
Yes.
Released their first book in January called The Geography of Tongues. And this is the first feature in the Bay Area. So please give a warm welcome to Shikha Malaviya.
Hi, everybody. First of all, I would like to thank Kearney Street Workshop. I can't think of a better place for me to have my first reading. And it's just wonderful to be surrounded by great people, great food, and such lovely art. And Ravi, your reading was so fantastic. I don't know, how I can follow that, but I will try my best. And, after I was asked to read here, I started realizing I have a lot of poems about food. And my book, I don't know if you all can see this, it's called Geography of Tongues. And part of the reason was because I, grew up in, I was born in one country, grew up in another, and also went to high school in another one, and my parents come from India. But also because of, tongues means languages, but tongues also means taste, right? And, I had read how a child learns about the world from putting everything in their mouth, from tasting. And somehow, that notion was so powerful to me that I just had to have that in there, in this book somehow. So, hopefully you'll see some of that in some of the pieces that I share. Thank you. So the first poem I'm going to read is called Pineapple Pastry Flashback. And if any of you have been to India and seen these little pineapple pastries that are white and it has like a slice of pineapple and a cherry on the top, and you don't know exactly what's in them, but they taste really good. So, Pineapple Pastry Flashback. Barely 5 feet tall, we rush into your arms, Dadi, brown and doughy, smelling vaguely of coconut oil as you crush us with hugs. Today is an auspicious day, you tell me, the festival of pierced ears. I want to say, there is no such thing, but you stuff chocolate in my mouth before I can complain, and then your little square fingers, the ones that mashed bananas in my milk this morning, push gold hoops through virgin cartilage. Now I am young Indian belle with British accent, gypsy hoops dangling in the warm Indian wind. Our uncle plies us with post-colonial pastries, pineapple, black forest, chocolate cream. Who said the British didn't teach us anything? And as we stroll to Gandhi Park, named after the Mahatma, we romp and stomp in playful violence. We see the moon, the stars from the rooftop, bigger and brighter than through the London fog of 6 months ago. All are closer for the touching. And have I told you about the cows? Fresh milk every morning. Dadi cracks an egg in it for nutrition. We are growing fatter on Homeland Air, and for the first time I see a brown Father Christmas, mountain goats chewing on guava leaves, and people who look like us giving us rides on their shoulders. So all of what I wrote in that poem is true. It actually happened, and it's about my grandmother. And my brother and I, who's here actually, we lived that, and it was because we were from England, all those memories just crystallized and stayed in our minds. So anyway, so the next poem is about how I learned how to speak Hindi, because our first language actually was English since we were born in England. Lingua franca. 1. The voice of a little girl saying, Papa's got big legs, Papa's got big teeth, in a crisp British accent. And from behind her shoulder, a little boy with a little boy accent, insisting he wants to say, hello, 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 and doesn't realize he already has. The tape recorder has caught it all. 2. Dadi speaks to us in Hindi, so that we will learn simple things like, come here, yahan, go there, wahan jao, eat food, khana khao, bring that book, pustak lao, and we do. The Devanagari script enclosed with a straight roof and a wall to support the sides, each alphabet leaning in, turning phonetic tricks. E, ooh, ga, ka, na. Our tongues performing calisthenics, all of us partaking in this linguistic Olympics, going for the gold. 3. I remember Uncle Tom's Cabin, not because it was a sad story, not because Uncle Tom dies, but because I read it in Hindi. Tam Kaka Ki Kutia. I would repeat the title over and over again because it sounded funny and because Kutia mispronounced meant bitch, and it all sounded onomatopoeic, though it was only alliteration. I graduated from picture alphabet books where the Hindi vowel had a round red pomegranate next to it, and had a giant orange-colored mango with a small green leaf on its stem. Hungry for all the vowels, the fruit within them, tangy and sour, I plucked them off the page and into my mouth. The next poem, it's a very simple one. It's almost like a nursery rhyme. And for many of you who've grown here, I'm sure all of you have faced that question, where are you from? And I would be asked that question in the 80s, over and over and over again. Where are you from? And, do they wear shoes? I'd be asked questions like that. Do they wear shoes in India? Do they live in huts? And obviously things have changed now. Thankfully things have changed now. But still, I came up with an answer many, many years later on how to reply to that. Where I come from. My country is rough silk. My country is smooth spice. My country is black silver. My country is blue ice. My country is lotus temple. My country is golden mosque. My country is brick church. My country is glass synagogue. My country is tame elephant. My country is hungry tiger. My country is jumping monkey. My country is scuttling spider. My country is scented flower. My country is smelly dung. My country is ahimsa. My country is loaded gun. My country is every manifestation between a fiery red chili pepper and your tongue. A peacock dancing against the setting sun. Okay, well, I have an interesting story to tell, which involves Bryn, actually. And I had read Bryn's poem, a beautiful poem, in fact, called, Any Good American, in the Poetry Daily thing, that comes in my email every day. And I didn't know Bryn at the time, but I saw her poem, and I really liked it, and I said, you know what? I want to do something with this. I want to write like any good Indian. So that's actually what I did, and little did I know that, a year later I'd actually be meeting Bryn and having the pleasure of reading with her. So, I'd love to share that poem with you, and maybe Bryn will share hers. Okay. Like any good Indian. And by the way, this poem went on to get nominated for the Pushcart too, so I was like, Bryn is really lucky for me. Thank you for the inspiration. So, there you go. Like any good Indian. I turn my face with acute awareness, not giving them even an eyelash. I give my phone unwanted attention, scanning numbers, friends who don't matter. I count down the traffic light. 59, 58, 57 seconds, then feign sleep. Knuckles rap against tinted glass. Sometimes they call out, mother, sometimes sister. Hair matted, mussed up on purpose. At intersections, if I should look, they'll pull out my corneas with a grimace, push their scent on my tinted car window, make me clutch my purse tighter. Half-opened palm the size of my heart, beating like a silver coin that I won't give because it spoils them. So this is actually based on this intersection when I lived in Bangalore, India. I would, the light would be like for like 2-3 minutes, and there would be these beggars that would come and knock, and your initial reaction is to avert your face, and I'd see how I'd react. I'd see how other people would react, and then you'd stare at the traffic light, and you really want, the light to change quickly. And it's a very uncomfortable feeling because you want to help, and then everybody tells you don't help them because they're fake, they run a racket. So I didn't know how to capture that, and somehow when I read her poem, and the poem, if you look at it physically, has these gaps in between them, and I found that to be a beautiful form to express what I wanted to say. So it's such a difficult dilemma, and in no way was I trying to say this is wrong or this is right. I was just trying to capture that conflict of what do you do when there's so many people who need help and you want to, but instead you end up ignoring. So, and okay, I guess I'll share 2 more. There's oh, okay, I must share this one. It's called Feasting Fasting, and it's all about food. So, the clock strikes 7. And like Pavlov's dog, we run into the kitchen, the pressure cooker hissing till we push down its whistle. Dinner, the thought of it, forms a ball of saliva dancing on the center of our tongues. And as I cap the bubbling rice, your arm crushes mine, reaching over to taste the potatoes, dressed bright yellow like my childhood raincoat. I slap your hands, then bring it to my lips, tasting the salt, a hint of paprika. My heart, our hearth, both warm as your turmeric-stained fingers slide over breast, then hip. Sliced tomatoes arranged in circles of longing bear silent witness along empty white plates, our reflections in tablespoons resting on their backs. As rice water boils over, as the pot still blackens, as fingers leave yellow smudges of desire, and we gasp at the smell of burning. All right, I'm going to ask everyone a question here. Who loves mangoes? Well, mangoes are fruit we also love, and during mango season in India, we all go crazy because there's so many types of mangoes, and you get advice from your grandmothers and your mothers and everybody else that, oh, those ones should be eaten chopped, or that one should be sucked from the top, or so it gets very confusing, and mangoes are something which are written about and exoticized a lot too. But I thought, you know what? To hell with it, I'm going to write about mangoes. That's actually what I did. So, mad about mangoes. You might think it sounds cliched and exotic, but I'm going to write about mangoes, as if my life depended on it. I can hear you snickering when they say, her breasts are like juicy mangoes, and then your disbelief when you look and realize they actually are. In the Mahabharata, they call it the complete fruit. Sampurn. Eat a mango and all needs are satisfied, all nutrition delivered. Mangoes can be salvation, the shape of the ear of the Buddha, a paisley embroidered on silk, carved on doors. And if you must eat them, buy them by the crate, then soak them in a bucket and cool them, for each mango has the sun burning within it. Of course size matters. And color too. The small raw green ones taste good grated, salted, pickled, and the bigger fleshy ones have threads that get stuck between teeth. And the ones that are not so big or so small, they're the sweetest of them all. Puncture a hole in its head and suck until deflated, until its yellow blood stains your teeth. Lastly, be thankful you're not a cross-dresser named Mango or the Bollywood vamp Mango Dolly who captured Indian cowboy Quick Gun Murugan's heart and took a bullet for him, because being named after a fruit spells trouble. I wanted to share. Do I still have time? 1 minute? Okay. So I have a very short poem which is actually autobiographical, if I can find it. Yeah, here it is. So the poem is called A Rapid Tongue Thing Going, and it's based on a doctor's visit. So we had just come from India, and my daughter was like, she was 5 years old, and she was speaking in Hindi. And so the doctor, heard her speaking. He's like, oh, she's got that rapid tongue thing going. And I was like, what does that mean? So, and that's the danger, be careful when you speak in front of a poet. You never know, it might turn into a poem. So. All right, a rapid tongue thing going. Dear Mr. White, male Caucasian pediatrician, flattening my daughter's tongue and peering down her throat while remarking, she has that rapid tongue thing going. The tongue that you call rapid has 1,000 fires in it and 1,000 showers of lotuses. Perhaps we do speak as if we have to catch a train. Each word is poised at an overcrowded station on our tongues, bound for India and back within milliseconds. With our clove and cardamom-scented breath, we spread the fragrance of our pungent lives. And in the span of a minute, we find out how Auntie is doing after the flash flood in her village, and when the next sardi sale will be, or where the best bitter gourds are available, or how the thesis on language acquisition is going. A rapid tongue can trace the world in one lick with the force of a ghost chili kick. So next time, please don't ask me why we talk so quickly, so harshly, so loudly, unless you want to ask nicely. Thank you. Thank you so much. I just wanted to share one more thing. So I'm part of this poetry collective called the Great Indian Poetry Collective, and we are committed to publishing new poets from India. And we actually are running an Indiegogo campaign right now so that we can publish 3 more books in the coming year. So I would love it if you all could just visit our campaign and hear our story. And if you like what we're doing, please contribute. Thank you so much.